Hey guys, and welcome to this week's Stalker of the Week, which is the Nine of Swords. If you're new here and you do not know what Stalker of the Week is, it's a collective reading I do on an energy that kept showing up for all of the signs in one way or another. We pull it out and do a more thorough reading. Did I pronounce that right? I don't know. Well, take what resonate, leave behind the rest. Never ever force it to fit if it doesn't. Most of you are probably returning anyway, so you know what it's about. But yeah, as always, if you like this content, please like the video. That tells me whether or not I should continue with these. So, Nine of Swords. Why is it the Nine of Swords? Well, first and foremost, because it kept showing up for one of the all signs readings, right? It kept showing up there. And look at it. It doesn't really look that positive, does it? But I wanted to do probably the Hermit or one of the other ones, but this one kept showing up, and it was even clarified by these same cards. So there's something to it, right? Thankfully, the Nine of Swords is a temporary energy we will see what it's about, but this can be feeling. It can be about not getting enough sleep. It can also be. I really get this is about it's about being anxious for the future, but there's also a relation to the past in it, and of course there is. But you know what? Be patient with me. Let's get started. How are we going to do it? We are going to pull first an archetype to dive into the underlying energy, and then we're going to start pulling some oracles and then tarot. What do we have for the Nine of Swords? What's underneath the Nine of Swords? Shaman in the reverse and Shapeshifter in the reverse. Didn't we have that last week? I can't remember when the Shaman in the reverse. I'm gonna read that in the book. Shaman in the reverse is someone who has given too many promises, promising too much, failing to live up to it. Can be about setting up high expectations to oneself and then putting oneself into a situation where you're basically being asked to deliver more than you can chew. Let's see here. We have empathy. And we have perseverance underneath. Empathy. I am open to seeing both sides of a situation. This is going to be really, really, really interesting to see what's underneath all of this. It's a matter here about being able to place oneself into the shoes of someone else, and without projecting onto that person what is going on within yourself. Let's get the Shaman here. Yeah, Shaman. Shaman is an archetype that speaks to personality trait here. The Shaman. Hurts oneself and others by giving too many promises, yeah. When I say the Shaman is a master who bridges the everyday and the sacred, revealing the potent power needed desperately in our time. Yet where there is power, there is shadow, so the Shaman must be vigilant in studying their darkness. This card reminds us that the force of healing is ultimately not our own. We must shape it and share it with the world. It's basically similar to the Magician, right? As if you're talking about tarot here. This is a Shaman is someone here who has the knack for finding doorways. For me, it's like someone who's they are a student at the same time as they are a teacher. It's an energy here about being curious and being guiding at the same time, but being it in a way where you continue to work on yourself, right? But when it is in the reverse, this is most likely also about forgetting to find time oneself, and that's giving too many promises, promising to be everywhere at once, and you can't do it. That's when the pressure becomes too much. That's where stress comes in, right? And then we will see how it plays out more, right? But with the empathy here. The empathy, it ties up to really get the past here. It's almost like being open to seeing a situation in a different light in the past, which is a good thing because it's a learning progress. And that's where, maybe, all right, let's see, what does it say, where, was it regret? I don't know, let's see how it plays out. Show me Six of Swords. There is a difficulty walking away from something here. This is what, when I look at the past energy, there's a lot about moving into something new, right? It's about moving into a new mindset. I keep saying that when I see the Six of Swords, but it's basically about leaving behind conflict, leaving behind the need to be right, the need to go into battle where no one wins, right? It's where, finding yourself in some sort of a corporation or teamwork or in a partnership, which is the same thing basically, where someone here becomes aggressive, they want to be right, and then if you also become aggressive because you also want to be right, that's where we have conflict, right? There are many ways of going into conflict, I gotta be honest with you. There are also people who avoid conflicts, and that's also apparent here, where they run away from the conflict, and that is probably also a theme that's present here, especially when I then get the Hermit here in my head, because that also showed up a lot. So, I mean, if you want to know more about that, you can look into conflict styles. But in this case, the past energy is about wanting to get away from that harsh communication. But it haven't been easy, right? And then underneath it all is some sort of a challenge in emotionally disconnecting from a situation. And that's where I get this stressed here. A situation, but how it ties up to the past is that emotionally, you or whoever this is for, the emotions of the past, I want to say almost abandonment, right? The abandonment of something that was close to your heart still gets to you. Because in the past, I see you trying to disconnect with your mind, right? Saying, I don't want to think about it anymore. But emotionally, you may still have an attachment there. And that's how, because it affects your emotion, it comes back into your mind. And that's where we then come into this situation. And maybe their word is, this shaman is very interesting. We're going to look into that, because there is some trickery going on. And, in many ways, it could actually also be that your emotions are playing a trick on your mind, meaning that if any of you struggle with connecting with your emotions, the emotional intelligence, let's say like that, which we can all have times, right? Then it's the challenge here of not really understanding why one keeps thinking about something. Why do you keep thinking about that thing you thought you had disconnected from? Well, because perhaps emotionally, your emotions may still be tied up to it. But let's see how it plays out, right? I'm also seeing a learning experience from this, and that's the good thing. But let's see where you are in it. I don't know if this is you. You tell me. You have the Tower in the reverse. This is a good energy because it's about avoiding building up castles. I am also seeing the feeling of guilt here, I gotta say. But it's actually because the Nine of Swords and the Tower, to me, they have historically showed up in readings where someone did something and they knew they did it, and they are sad about that, but it happened. Typical cheaters. but it's not, it doesn't have to be that here, but because the Tower is in the reverse, right? We gotta do some clarification here. Well, you know what, let's lay out the rest of it. All right, that goes over there. Okay. I mean, the energies are challenging, I gotta be honest with you. Because there is this... I mean, this is basically that energy of having given a promise you know you can't keep, and you may be trying to walk away from it, but it feels... I mean, it's a good feeling because it's sad for whoever this is happening to, meaning the other, whoever's in your environment with this chariot here who was feeling blocked and who may be trying insistingly on trying to get something moving here. I mean, this, and if you then know that it's not really going to build up into anything, the way it's heading is actually into a bit of deception here with the Seven of Swords showing up like that. But it's the thing is that it's going to be evident. Some of you are actually, I've got to be honest, I am getting that some of you are stuck. You are maybe finding yourself in a situation where someone really wants you and you may not want them back. That's why that cheat energy, not to say that you are a cheater, but it is that of knowing where something is going to lead, but someone else may be attaching themselves to you in a way where they really want something here to progress in a certain way, but you know it's not going to happen like that. And that's where we have empathy, where you are actually open to seeing it seeing it for what it is. Let's pull out the last card, and then we're going to start clarifying. Come on. Healing the heart and the rose's kiss. Alright, let's just read it before we get clarifying. Healing the heart. When you are wounded emotionally, you need time to regroup and find your center. You may have recently endured a breakup or betrayal, lost someone close to you, or lost an affiliation that you gave too much power to. Perhaps you are watching someone go through this, or go through a difficult time and feel bad that you can't help them. Maybe you're still not over a past disagreement. No matter the cause of this heartache, deep healing is called for. This happens on its own timetable and can never be rushed. I know. The path to healing the heart centers on reciprocity. The flow of giving and receiving. Sometimes wounding occurs because we become too dependent on another person or situation. And this is accompanied by their desire to manipulate or control the outcome. This would be in your environment, by the way. Meaning someone here may be attached to you, maybe trying to, because they have an attachment that may not be that healthy to you, then they may be trying to control the outcome here. That stems from a place of insecurity, by the way. Right. Both wounding and healing usually begin from within, not from outer conditions of our lives. We often believe that we can be wounded only by others, but we do more damage to ourselves in the self-sabotaging way we think and behave. It is important to take steps to heal yourself and become willing to release the pain of the past, which can be tempting to revisit. It's time to take responsibility for your part in this healing journey. Look for ways you can help yourself and thereby others. Are you willing to make amends if needed to? Or conversely, accept someone where they are without trying to influence their growth process? Healing the heart in all aspects is your priority now. Nothing else matters. Only beauty and goodness will come as a result. Well, beauty depends on how much sleep you get. What's very interesting here is that, it is about wanting to control an outcome because you become too attached to a situation. I see this happen a lot. Gotta be honest with you. I see it happen a lot where I see someone having thrown their love onto an unrequited love situation. And they're so focused upon asking about the other person. It's always about the other person that they forget themselves. They are dependent. Most of them don't see it themselves. And there's no point reasoning that. I want to see this tower here for you. Two of Cups. You're avoiding building up a partnership that you may not feel aligned with, basically. Right? It depends on how, basically depends on how you're seeing it. We also have Two of Cups in the reverse of what you can control, right? So basically what you can control is how you relate to other people in terms of, you know, the intimacy with someone. Not sexuality, but intimacy. How you open up about yourself. If someone here brings more stress into your life than they bring a surplus of energy, you may not be that relating that well with each other. I mean, there's a difference between being annoyed with someone and being frustrated and then being stressed. Being stressed is actually something that physically affects you. Makes you feel terrible. If something here, communication comes in about, I mean, even if it's someone else coming your way to try, I don't know, spying, or the way they communicate with you about certain endings here that may wound you, you know what? It's almost like some of you may actually be anticipating it, but I actually get a sense of release from it. But some of you are stubborn. What's in that environment there of yours? Oh, 16 minutes. Let's see how quick we can do it. Some of you, this is Leo reading. Eight of Wands, Temperance, Knight of Pentacles. Some of you may be connected to an energy that comes towards you quick and then it stops. It's not a lot of balance there. And I actually get that, you see, that's the thing. I see that you're pushing that away. That's what brings you stress. If someone here may actually be chasing you, they're coming too quickly. And then they slow down. And I don't know, it's like maybe they're indecisive here. But I see you pushing it away. It's like if you don't feeling it. This is probably also that of you saying no. Saying no. Maybe someone here is not understanding that you're saying no. I feel as though the demands here of your environment are probably a bit... They're a bit, they're high. All right, maybe your environment is just, maybe you're not, yeah, I really get someone here attached as an outside energy who's trying to control the outcome of a situation. All right, what can you control? You can control the thoughts that lead you into your head and keeps you stuck there and stresses you out. You have the potential here to grow in many different ways. You are not set in a particular relationship. Meaning if someone here comes your way and say that you are meant for them, that the two of you are destined to be together, and if you don't feel the same, you are not destined or forced to go with what this person wants you to do. You have freedom. You have free will. And people who cannot respect or know or accept it, respect it, validate that, then they are not, they're bullies. What can't you control? Well, you can't control Ten of Pentacles in the reverse Sun. You can't control other people's ego and whatever they bring with them from their upbringing, their expectations. You can also not control the loss of abundance. Greed is all I got there. And people who don't really know what it is that they are, where their purpose is, that they don't really have something for themselves. Like maybe they may feel directionless, and therefore they just, in their pursuit of their own direction, their own purpose, almost they shift that you become their purpose. It's like, dude, find your own purpose. No, sorry, but yeah, you can't really control how other people decide to make use of the opportunities that are given to them. Right? I get something else maybe coming towards this person over here, but that's for them. What you can control is how you decide to stay stuck in your head about a relationship that may not actually be working with you, that keeps you more stressed than anything. Especially if you are in this, well, for some of you, you are actually also dealing with someone who becomes a workaholic once in a while, where they put their career first. And then it's left for you to find ideas of what to do, because they actually don't work with you, but then they come back and they can't leave you behind, but they don't really work with you. Let's see what's coming up here. The 7 of Swords. Not the best thing, guys. 8 of Cups. I'm seeing the same thing happen again. Someone here pretending to walk away, and they're not really walking away. Trying to look into the future, but still holding on to the past. I mean, why do I do these readings? Well, you're going to be in it. Well, you will thankfully, hopefully, have taken the next step here. When this person comes here, they may actually have something they want to celebrate with you. Could be some sort of a new beginning in their work or something like that. Remember, please reverse the roles if it is. There's a matter here about seeing each other for who you are and not battling each other, bringing stress into each other's life. Yes, there's a player energy here. And what do I mean by player? Someone here who can't be alone. They need someone to be there for them, so they don't have this feeling of being alone. Abandonment issues, basically. I mean, it could be both of you. All right. Is there anything else? Let's see if there's anything else, and then we're done. Wheel of Fortune, 10 of Swords, the Lovers. Time will take care of this. There's going to be some events that's going to be thrown at you, or let the events play out as, basically, roll the dice, see what happens. What will happen is meant to happen, and there may, I mean, I see the energy is going towards at least the end of this. I see 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 of Swords here, and there will be a choice that needs to be made. Choice between each other, choosing each other every day. How the choice is going to play out, it's a very interesting question, because right now it shows up as though there's going to be deception taking place, and it's probably something to do here with not really opening up to one another, so that you're able to see the situation from both sides of the situation here. And instead it becomes this pursuit about what do I want from this? Well, what about what the other person needs? It can go both ways. Could be, I mean, it shows up as though whoever is in your environment is pursuing you in a way where they may not be seeing your side of the situation, and that's what I don't like. It's actually a little bit dominating, but yeah. There's a misunderstood empathy in all this. Alright, and by that I mean believing that whoever, right, I'm just going to explain how I understand misunderstood empathy, is that of believing that you see or feel the other person's emotions, but what you're actually doing is you're projecting yourself onto them. So you're sitting there saying, I understand exactly what it is that you're saying, telling me, I understand exactly what it is that you need. But the needs that you're projecting onto the person is actually your own needs, what you need for them to do for you. Right? I know what they need. They need me. They need me to be there, or they need to have something. I don't know. They need to have chicken soup, and then it turns out they're vegetarian. I was like, but they need to have it. Like it's up for them to decide what they need. Or the doctors. All right. So that's what I have for you. I will see you next time. Take care.